Now, how did this work with you? At what point did they bring you in to direct an episode, and how much of that episode is sort of already worked out with the stunt team and the effects team? I remember you told me working on The Flash that the effects team reported to the set and said, "Look, we've got it. We've got his arrival here from here to there, and then you take that. That from there on is you, director. We got the
That was
rest
very
of our."
funny.
I mean,
That,
I'm not even trying to make light of it. I'm just saying that sometimes they handle certain aspects. But on The Witcher, it's a complicated shoot, right? There's a lot of moving parts. So you've got your vision that you're bringing to it as a director, and then how much of it, like at what point do you get the script, and are you on board, and where's the stunt team at when you arrive, or are they waiting for your approval on everything?
well, Lauren, who is the showrunner and the creator of this series of both season one and season two, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really her baby. I began working with her on in Marvel, the Marvel universe. We were working on Daredevil, and we spent probably more time in the Queens Penitentiary than most than most murderers in New York. I mean, we were there for so many episodes and so many days that we started looking at it. When we got to be able to walk into the front door into the intake part of that penitentiary, and the warden said, "Hey, come on in. How you doing?" We knew that we'd been there too long. But anyway, so we did that whole scene with Punisher in that big prison fight where he took on everyone. We did. I mean, we spent a lot of time in that prison. So then she went, and I'm a big fan of Lauren's, and I've been a big fan for a long time before that. So working with her was great. But then we went from that to she went onto the Umbrella Academy, and I was still working on Marvel, and she called me and said, you and Steve Blackman would get along really well. I recommended that you guys should get together. And I had met Steve Blackman on another show, which will remain nameless, but we'd gotten along, but our schedules didn't turn out. And I swear to God, that's what it was. It was our schedules. So then the next thing that happened was I went and talked to him about Umbrella Academy, and they made me, this was season one, and they made me an offer to do a couple of the episodes, 6 and 7, season one. And I came on board, and Lauren left. Lauren left to do her own show in the United Kingdom called The Witcher. And I was like, "Well, thanks, Lauren. Great. You brought me in here, and now you've left. That's just wonderful." And she was like, "Oh, you're going to have fun. You and Steve." I had a great time, and it turned out really well.
So let me unpack something real quick. So when you directed everything from Luke Cage to The Defenders to Jessica Jones to Daredevil, you directed all that, and I always asked you, how is there even a crime rate in Hell's Kitchen? But there was. And we were on the back lot where we're based at Universal Studios. And I remember when you got the Umbrella Academy job and you were sort of breaking down, you didn't tell me too much because a lot of it was secretive, but you told me what it was and sort of the direction it was going in. And I remember thinking like, oh, you're a good pick for that.
Huh. Well, I don't know. I remember at the beginning of the series, I had cut my teeth on sort of avant-garde graphic narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Steranko, Burns, but I never really, it wasn't like I read Archie comics or all of Marvel. I kind of dabbled in it. But when I started working in Marvel, I was doing so much storyboarding, and it was so much part of that's sort of where they came from. They originally were born out of graphic narrative. And so a lot of their characters came from that process. And the head of the creative part of that company is run by artists. It's unusual, but it's actually true. Anyway, why do I go there? I digress. So anyway, I was working with Lauren on Punisher. She went to Umbrella Academy, invited me on board. I got along great with Steve and went on to season 2. And she checked my availability a couple of times. I was still working. And then I was coming back wounded for a long project. They had beaten me up pretty good, and she called me. I was on the plane, and I said, I just can't come out right now. I've been on the road for too long. And she said, "Well, stand by, because I'm going to go to season 2 and I'm going to bring you in." So that's what happened. Season 2 came along, and she offered me the first 2 episodes of season 2, and I'll never look back. I just loved that. That experience was. She gave me a great script. She gave me all the resources that were required. She gave me the challenges that I had to meet. She really was extremely generous. She was not easy. She kept me on my game, and she surrounded me with the best technicians and artists I've ever worked with.
They were known as Lucifer and the Men with Painted Faces when they burned New Orleans to the ground. And when they sacked Panama, I knew that my road to redemption would be paved with tombstones. And by the time they brought the apocalypse to West Africa and the Indian Ocean, I would come to know two words with biblical significance. No quarter. No quarter. Kill All Masters. Rated R. Coming soon. Available on all platforms. Visit noquarterkillallmasters.com.